Hey,
Here we
everybody.
are.
Ta-da!
That was perfect timing. It's the Dyketastic Duo.
It's the Dyketastic Duo.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you so much for being here with us. Fantastical. So it's Tuesday. And
Right.
also, let me just say, because it's a nerdy day, it's my favorite nerdy day of, well, it's like one of my two favoriteest nerdy days of the year. It's the Apple event. Also, it's a super gay day, but it's the Apple event, everybody. I have not seen it, so please no spoilers in the comments. Because I got home from work, I had to make dinner, and then I had to get here for this live. So yeah, but yeah, I'm excited. The tiny nerd in me is super stoked.
Do you
So
want me to
yeah,
tell you what they
and then
released?
don't. No,
Just
I'm
giving
gonna
you a
watch
heads
it
up.
after this.
Okay.
I'm gonna start beatboxing over you. Just
Yep.
yeah, another hidden talent. All right, so
Yep.
wicked. All right, so guys, I mean, obviously, the hottest news in the Scientology world. I mean, let's be honest, is the one, the only Danny Masterson. We know, so
Mhm.
Mr. Pooptastic himself. You know, he's going down in a blaze of glory. But then he's like not Ebenezer Scrooge. Who is the guy? Marley, Bob Marley. But no, it's not not Bob Marley. Jacob Marley.
Okay.
Not Bob Marley. It's a Sprite, guys. That's all I'm having. It's not Bob Marley. It's Jacob Marley. When Jacob Marley comes to see Ebenezer Scrooge, in the opening scene, and he's like, "Oh," and he has all those like chains of his sins like attached to him. That's Danny Masterson right now, and like the chain of sins that are attached to him are like all of his celebrity and Scientology friends. That's Danny. He's just dragging them all through the muck right now. That's what he's doing. But he's not helping anybody learn a lesson before Christmas morning. No,
No.
because if
No.
anybody saw that
Well, I
video
guess
from
he
Ashton
could
and
be
Mia,
teaching him a little lesson. Like, here's a little lesson. Do as I do, and you'll become Bubba's bitch too. There you go.
yeah, I mean, I guess he's going to be gay for the stay, as they say in the prison system.
Yep.
That might happen for him. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't imagine.
That it's gonna be
I don't want to
fun.
make. No, I mean, he's toasted. But I mean, I guess I had it wrong. I did tune in for part of Aaron's thing. I was thinking Scientology was gonna like, toss him out with like a baby with the bathwater and be like, peace out, dude. No. They are texting, they're doing a text chain like it's 1997, with just texting they're having a textathon and telling everybody to get their ducks in a row, and we're all stand with their man, and they're hanging on to Danny for I don't why. What the frack
Because
what are they thinking?
because as long as they stay attached to him, he has no reason to open his fucking mouth. Like,
Yeah,
realistically,
that's the game they're playing.
because if they cut him loose, he will open his mouth and he will tell, okay, well, just so you know, David Miscavige did this. David Miscavige
Right.
did this. And he will open his
Does
guts.
he even know David Miscavige? I mean, has he ever even met the short-tastic, commandant? I don't think so. I
Well,
don't think
think
he's
about it this
ever
way.
met him.
But think about it this way. Doesn't mean the president's office didn't say, I've filled in David Miscavige. I filled him in,
Right.
because
We
realistically
told
he
you
would
know
have.
who, what you were doing, and he's so excited.
Yep. Let's go. But
Shimmy.
yep. So I guarantee it, because that's what they did to me when I was on decks and gonna jump off.
Yeah.
They said, as soon as they got me inside, it was, oh, the LRH comm is gonna hear about this. And you know who else is gonna hear about this? Amy Scobie, because that is just the most out ethical thing I've ever seen. And I'm just like, out
Right.
ethical. and it's
Unethical.
like, you should have just let me
They
do it
just make
then,
shit
because
up.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that's how I absolutely knew her name, because they kept throwing her name at me like,
Oh, yeah.
she's our boss. She's our
Well,
boss's
yeah.
boss.
She was
And
she was the boss of the celebrity centers. She was
yep,
our boss. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, if you heard Amy's name, you were like, "Oh, fuck."
It
That
was
was
the
yeah.
I'm sorry. So
That was more I mean, for us at Celebrity Center, Amy has her YouTube channel now, and she's just this smiley, like, tiny dog lady that's just like, "Guys, look
and
at
she's
this is a
bubbly,
tiny dog."
like
She's like,
I'm just
"It's
like,
a
"Hey,
tiny dog.
everybody."
If it's a tiny dog, you can't see the dog," like that. If you guys haven't seen that video, that's, like, one of the greatest videos of all time. Have you seen that one, Liz?
I
That
think so.
lady who does the video, it says, like, "Ma'am, you can't bring this dog on a plane. There's no dogs on plane. This dog is a tiny dog. If it's a tiny dog, can you see it?" So, but, like, Amy's like that. She's just bubbly and she's fun, and she's just like, "Hey," like, she's just so nice, right? But when we knew her, she was like, if she came in the room, you were like, stand at
And,
attention, like, just
and you were just instantly
come
anything,
on.
and no, no, the threat of her name scared the bejesus out of me, I'll be
No.
honest.
Everybody had a tiny bit of poop come out if they knew she was
Mhm.
coming, just like,
Yep, that would be me.
no, yeah. No, that was not
But
she was not
I
that. She was not what you guys see now.
no, she was definitely Amy, I love you. Love you to death, but man, you were scary back then, I'm just saying.
Wow. Not because
Um,
not because she's a terrible person, but just her elevated post, her job was to put the fear of God, the hammer of Thor, down on us for everything,
yep.
for anything just stupid. "Oh, 6 people didn't have lipstick on today?" Oh, like, what?
Mhm.
I mean, just something dumb, this is a great question here. Um, did Scientologists actually have to salute? Not regular public Scientologists, just people who are paying for courses, but Sea Org members, because we were in a fake space navy with
Yep.
stolen valor uniforms. Yes, we had to practice saluting. We had ranks and ratings,
Yep.
um, and stripes and the whole thing.
The whole kit and
Yes,
caboodle, the
and we had to
little
call
lanyard.
everyone with a rank above us sir,
Mhm.
regardless of gender. So yes, but
And then anyone
just a
below
regular,
us anyone
yeah,
below us, we got to, like, for those of us that were in, like, the higher posts, we got to
mhm,
call everybody by their first name.
right. So
Um,
Liz could call me Nora, but I would have to call her sir because she. Where are you, Liz? I'm
the
pointing.
other
I
side.
can't. There. No.
Y
Where? I can't.
you're
There you
right
are.
there. There you go.
Liz, there we go. Liz was, like, the boss lady in the org, so I would have to call her Mr. Ferris or
Yep.
sir.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And we wouldn't have been allowed to be
Very
friends.
odd. No, we could no be prans. We
No.
were
No
just like,
friends. No friends.
no prants. We could not
Nope.
hang out in the gym. I could not, like, make her laugh. There was no chummy chummy.
Nope.
No, no friendship.
Nope.
We would have been great friends though, and then we would have been like, "We're lesbians."
Right? Because 'Cause I'd have been like, "Je suis un homosexuel."
Je suis le
You as
gay.
homosexual.
We is gay.
Yeah, super gay.
That's probably why
Super
they really didn't want us to be friends. They're like, "Oh god, we gotta keep those 2 apart.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep one in a higher division, and the other one can stay
We'll
where
keep
they're
one
at.
in the basement and one on the 2nd floor, and then we're all good."
Mhm. Yep. But yeah, so here's a
Uh,
question for you. So
yeah,
I'm gonna try to pronounce their names correctly because I've been so
Mila
irritated.
Kunis.
Yeah, Mila Kunis and
Well, she's
Ashton
Ukrainian, so
Kutcher.
it's very, yeah. Yeah, and Ashton Kutcher, who's just American homebred. Yep. Mhm.
Yep. Um, so his secrets are coming out. I do love
Oh,
that his secrets
yeah.
are flowing like, you know,
Yeah.
water down a pipe. Like it's the most amazing thing. You know,
Yeah.
throw you throw glass at a house and you probably shouldn't be the one living in it.
Well, it's a lot of thing about Ashton is like everybody wants to skip over the fact of the punked years and they want to pretend like he wasn't a fucking asshole for like an entire decade just being a fucking asshole to people. Like we all pretend punked just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like he wasn't just fucking with people for an entire day. We're going to go from Ashton on that 70s show to Ashton married to Demi Moore and the philanthropist, and now he's married to his former co-star who was a minor.
Mhm.
But we're just gonna forget about that. And now he's found his true love. Like, oh, let's circle back. And that's like we're just gonna erase Ashton's dickhead era. Like it didn't matter. Sorry, bro. You were a bro douche for a really long time, and you bred and like gave the training manual to an entire generation of bro douches out there.
Yep.
Okay. Like, and then when you're looking back on these interviews with him and Danny and their early interviews from when that 70s show was just barely taking off, all of it is being laid on the carpet there. It's not even like an undertone. They
No,
are
it's just
saying the
truth.
quiet part out loud. Like, yeah, Danny had a bet with me going, like, am I gonna like ram my tongue down this kid's throat or what? I'll give you $20 if you just give her the service. Like
Yeah.
she was 15 because Mia Kunis lied to the producers and told them that she was 20, that
Well,
she
she
just
said she
looked
was
really young.
17. She said she was
Right, or
17, and
whatever.
then once
She
she
said she
got
was
the job,
17.
she had to admit it.
Right. Then she had to admit she was only 15 because she
14.
really yeah, or 14, right? Because she really wanted the job. And she's a great actress. This again, whenever I just want to put the disclosure out there because people like to be like "Rah, rah," about actors. This has no commentary whatsoever on Ashton, Mia's, Topher's, Danny's, anybody else's acting ability. Yes, Ashton was 19 at the time and Mia was 14. That is still a 5-year age gap between teens. However, I have a 17-year-old son who's about to turn 18. Okay. And these are the talks I have with him. He's about to have his first job in real life. And he's going to meet other teens that are working at that job. Right. And we've had very serious talks with him that, like, right now he's 17 and he's at that cusp. Right. So if he were to get in a relationship with somebody who was like, let's say 16 right now. That's kind of like very iffy
Yep.
because in a couple months, he turns 18. That person's still going to be 16. That you got to break up
Yep.
because the law,
Mama said
whether
so.
I'm okay with it and the other parents are okay with it, the law doesn't care what we're okay with,
Yep.
right? The law is the law. Regardless, parents could write out a whole contract. We could like go to lawyers and all this stuff. All that has to happen 10 minutes from that is that God forbid that other person who's 16 goes, something bad happened. That's it. My kid's in jail for the rest of his life and he's a sex offender.
Yep.
That's all that has to happen, even if it didn't actually happen. And I have to explain that to him because, and that would be the same for my daughter if she were 18 and she was dating somebody younger. It would be the same thing. Once you reach the age of 18, you have to, wow, girl, you got so bright.
I know,
You're,
right?
I love it. You're just bringing the noise. But that's the thing you have to be aware of, and it's not something that's new. That's not a new concept. That's not something that just got made up now. It's just something that like we're all not fucking around with anymore. And if we rewind the clock to when that 70s show came out, I guess it was like the early 2000s
Yeah.
when it came
N-
out, it was
Late
still like
1990, early 2000.
or yeah, whatever. Like people were still really looking the other way. Do you know what I mean? Like people were still like, well, you know, and they just weren't, you know, it's always like a meh, you know, um, but it's not. It's not. It's not a minor, nothing. I shouldn't say minor because we're talking about minors, but it's not a nothing burger issue. You know what I mean? It's something to take seriously, and I have to talk to my kids about this all the time. You know, um, when they're getting involved in relationships and stuff. Especially as they start getting older as teens. Because you have to really consider that when you're thinking about it. But it's like they're all in Hollywood and, meh, 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 and it's like, no, especially then. Especially then. I mean, it's like, and if you and I both know Scientology purports itself to be the most ethical group on the planet.
Mhm.
And
Supposedly,
we're supposed,
yes.
right. And as a second gen Scientologist, you have even more of that responsibility on you,
Mhm.
right? You're supposed to be like a we come backer. So you're supposed to have all this like knowledge born into you. Like you're just born knowing Scientology. Maybe you even like hung out with L. Ron. Like you were just like, hey, what's up?
And
Like,
you're like, "Hey,
no,
buddy."
hey, I know that guy. Like gross. Um, but that's like what all your parents assumed is that like you were on the ship with Ron, or you were at St. Hill, or you were like in the desert at the Phoenix lectures at some point, or like somehow you were following Ron around in the 50s and then you just like
Yep.
came back and
I paddled. I had my oars and I was just paddling after him like, "I got you, boo boo. I got you." Maybe
but
like
I
I'll
mean,
take a
honestly,
canoe back.
that's like, literally for all us kids who grew up in the '80s, like, our parents were literally convinced that we were with Elron at some point during the '50s or '60s, prior to our birth at some point in the '70s or '80s, that we had been at there, that maybe they even knew us at some org at some point. Like, they're trying to, like, remember the old people that they had seen, like, milling around the orgs.
Yeah,
You
or
know they were. You know they
absolutely, or
were.
you know, or the fact that, finding out that I was named after like my mom used to tell me the biggest lie when it came to my middle name. She used to tell me all the time, "Oh, you're not named after anybody. I just didn't want to give you a Spanish name like the rest of the family, and that's what caused so much drama." Turns out, yeah. So my middle name is Regina. Well, let's just out it now because my
Was
middle
that
name is
after
Regina.
Reggie?
And yes, I was named after Reggie, who drove a Porsche at the San Francisco org.
I know Reggie. I was on the RPF with her. I know her.
Congratulations. I was named after her.
She's actually a badass bitch, and I'm pretty sure she's the gay.
Probably.
No, I'm telling you right now, you ask your mom one day, "Mom, you named me after a gay lady. Don't be mad that I'm the gay, because you know Reggie's secretly the gay."
Yeah, you
She
knew
has the
it.
same hair. She has the same, like, short ass haircut. She's had that same haircut since 1970. That bitch ain't never been married. She fucking is the gay. Shut the fuck
Nice.
up.
Yeah, I was named after her.
Your mom named you after a tiny little badass gay woman named Reggie.
Yep.
Okay, her name's Regina.
Mhm. And you know what the worst part is? Like, so my mom would always be like, well, I guess it's not really the worst part, but my mom would always be like, "You need to look it up in Latin." I'm like, "My name is old
Re-
enough to be Latin?"
Yeah, Regina's means queen.
Yeah. So my name translated means Elizabeth the Queen Ferris. That is my name translated.
But do you know what Elizabeth means?
No, because I've not looked it up. I don't want it to destroy me. Because if it means like supple and vivacious or something, it's like, I already looked up Ferris and where our family
Oh,
tree comes from.
you can't, you
Regina
can't get
ruined
all like
me.
okay, so
Regina ruined me.
Elizabeth is a Hebrew name. Okay. So Elizabeth descended from the Hebrew name Elishiva, which then became Elizabeth, which means God's promise or God is my oath. In the Bible, Elizabeth is the mother of John the Baptist, right? So it means God's promise or God is my oath. So basically, you're the queen of God's oath.
Oh God, my grandma would be so happy. I bet you she's doing the Tootsie Roll in her grave.
Well, my middle name is Beth, which is short for Elizabeth, right? And my first name is Nora, which is it's just Nora, but normally that's short for Honora, which
For
is
Alora.
honor, or Alora, but it's yeah, it could be either. But Nora is an interesting first name because it is universal. It's in every language, the name Nora, which I love because you can go to any country and you say the name Nora and they have it, except in the Asian language countries like Chinese or Japanese specifically, because they don't have R's. They don't have an R sound. So it's Nola, Nola, which is also pretty. My aunt, when I was born, thought my name was Nova with a V, which she was very
Named after a
excited for
good
with my
car.
with my maiden name Sova. She thought my name was Nova Sova, which she thought was like the best name ever. My mom was like, "No, it's Nora."
Yeah, I think our parents must have gotten together at some point because I have got the most feminine
They could have.
foo-foo name. You've got the most femmy foo-foo name.
Well, my mom got my names from movies. So Nora comes from Nick and Nora Charles, which was a husband and wife detective teams in the Thin Man series,
Okay.
right? Which was my mom's absolute favorite series of movies. And then Beth is from Beth and Little Women, my mom's favorite character in that movie. So Nora Beth. And all my hick
All
cousins
very
are like,
feminine.
Nora Beth, Nora Beth.
Yeah, my mom still tells me she'd be like, Elizabeth Regina, Lizzie Beth Regina. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
hmm.
That's when you know you're talking to like one of your family members. But only my cousins are like, Nora Beth. And
Yeah,
I'm like, it's one of my cousins is here. One of my cousins is here. I got a lot of cousins because I'm
absolutely.
Greek. So,
I got a
so
lot
many
of cousins
cousins.
because I'm Spanish. I don't look
Yeah.
it.
So samesies. Samesies. That's if you're anything that is not just as they say in the My Big Fat Greek Wedding, exeno toast family, then you have a lot of cousins. That's how that goes. But my mom's side of the family is it like my family is like My Big Fat Greek Wedding because my dad's side was the Greek, and then my mom was like exeno toast family. It was just her and her brother. So it's like,
See,
and
and
there's a yeah,
there's that
yeah,
fine line
it's like
between
that.
having a really close family and then having like total dysfunction. And I had dysfunction on
Yeah.
both my sides because one family was just, and then the other family, I had no idea who they were until I was older. Like I didn't meet my dad's family, like
Oh
really
wow.
meet them. Um, like I'd met them once when I was a kid, but I was probably like 5 or 6 and didn't officially meet them until I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
So yeah, it was unique, but I look like a spitting
Yeah.
image of them. So let's get back to that comedy while we are talking about the fact that
Yeah.
my mom named me the most
Now
feminine name she could find in the bloody phone book.
I when my parents got divorced, I was so mad at my dad though. I wanted nothing to do with him. So I wanted to change my name completely. I wanted to move away from Nora and my maiden name Sova. I didn't want to have anything to do with my dad. So I wanted to change my name, my first name, and I wanted to change my last name to like another family name. I wanted to change my first name to Scout, like To Kill a Mockingbird, because I was super into that movie at the time. And then I wanted to have my last name be Rush because I'm a descendant of a signatory on the Declaration of Independence. So I was
Okay.
like, I'm going to go with that. So I wanted to be like Scout Rush. And my mom was like, I'm not paying for that. Also, I was
No,
8.
I
So
made a promise. I was
like,
like, I'm not going to change my name until you're dead. And she's like, look, I'm still here. Your name's still the same. You're halfway through your life. I'm like,
oh.
don't make me wish it. Don't make me go find a genie. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about while I'm thinking about finding a genie. Um, so do we think that did you watch the makeshift apology that Kunez and
Oh,
Aston?
the thing, did you see the breakdown that somebody did of somebody said somebody put on the internet, that they broke down where Ashton and where they shot it, because they were like, not only do I understand their PR team, but I study Architectural Digest, so I know that they shot this in front of that it's the side of their pool house, and they did like an arrow to where they did this. Their PR team told them to do it against a nondescript wall, so they look like just regular people, and then they drew an arrow to where the wall is, that it's basically the side of the wall of their pool cabana next to their like $10 million house and shit in the Hollywood Hills. Like, come on, morons. Like, at least go to a public park or something, or like go
Or,
be with the
to a
people.
boat, to I
Go to your
don't know.
yacht.
Like, at this point, you could have gone to Starbucks.
I mean, it's just the thing about the apology. The apology was, "I'm sorry you got upset that you found out that I said something." I mean, it's like the apologies I get from my teens when I'm like, "How come you didn't do the thing I told you to do?" "Well, I'm sorry you're mad that I didn't want to."
See, what
Like,
I couldn't take an answer like that. I'm like, "Drop it, give me 30." Like,
yeah.
but,
I mean,
no,
it was
I
just
was
it was the worst.
absolutely. So it's like you're supposed to take these 2 actors that have acted better with anybody. Like, hell, on the ranch, and yes, I'm intentionally pronouncing his name incorrectly. It's Aston right now. So, he's acted in so many things. He's a very good actor. If you're telling me that your acting skills cannot get out a simple "I'm sorry" without looking like someone is pulling every leg hair out, or her, where it looks like either they both had to take a dump, or it's
I
literally
think it
like
was
they
like
are
the
being
4th take.
forced.
I think it was the 4th take. I think they had fucked it up multiple times, because like, I know what I look like, before I was just doing all these lives, which I think is better because I fuck things up during the live, and then I have to be like, "Hang on, I'm losing my train of thought," or whatever. When I was doing, like, my prepared videos and I was editing them and then trying to, like, make my lighting look better, and I had a green screen and, like, all this shit, and I would, like, really think out what I was gonna do, ahead of time, I would get so frustrated because, like, I would have, like, a whole concept in my head of what I was gonna say, and sometimes I would rehearse it, and when it wouldn't come out right, or I would stumble or something, um, by, like, the 5th time I'm trying to say the same thing, I'm pissed, right? So, they looked like they had just been screamed at by multiple people, their PR people, probably their parents, probably other people who have nothing to do with this, right?
Their
Probably the people
neighbors.
running their fucking charity that's supposed to help victims of SA and the graping and all this other stuff. And they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" Like, people, huge donors to their organization, who are like, "Go fuck yourself. You're never seeing another dime of my fucking money because
Yep.
you're a piece of shit. And like, I can't believe I trusted you. I will never believe another word out of your mouth." So now they're trying to like pick up the pieces of their actual life,
Yep.
because they've built up this reputation of like, I'm going before Congress to like tell about how I'm such a good person. And I've been on all these, like they've been like a Marisol Nichols, out there like, "I've been saving people and I'm saving children from all these things. Pew, 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 pew. I'm a real life
Right.
superhero." And now people find out that he's going to write a letter on behalf of his friend that he thought, and say it out loud, "I thought only the judge was going to see this letter. So, like, I thought I was in the clear." Like, nah,
Right.
bro. Nah, bro. Like, even if you only thought that the judge was going to see this letter, what in the fucking world made you think it was okay to defend somebody who has been proven in a court of law to do the very thing to multiple women that
Mhm.
you're saying you are against publicly? Regardless of your 25 years of friendship with this person, who, by the way, as Aaron rightfully pointed out, Ashton has had a friendship through those 25 years with the 3 victims. It's not like
Yep.
these are 3 randos off the street that he's never heard of. He doesn't know who are these women? Who are these? He knows all 3 victims very well. So does Mila. And he's going to pretend that their statements aren't valid, that their feelings aren't valid, that nothing happened to them, and that his friendship with Danny erases this.
Right.
That's insane.
Or the fact that he's like, we were asked, months after, or no, months before. It was months
Mhm.
before this trial, to please write these letters, and then turn
Yeah,
around and it's like outed that
yeah,
they wrote the letters after he'd been convicted, not before. It was after
yeah.
he'd been convicted. So you're
No,
still standing there saying he didn't essay someone. Didn't it? He didn't do it. He's a great man. He's a
no.
great father. Oh, I would trust him around my daughter. You lying sack of shit. There's no way in God's green earth that you
Are
trust him
you
around your
kidding me?
daughter.
I wouldn't trust him around a cat. I mean, like, give me a break.
No.
There's no there's no way that I trust him around any female, anybody with a vulva. I don't trust him around
Yep.
because he doesn't have the capacity to control himself around someone with that piece of anatomy because he only has one desire to harm women.
Well, I think
You
there's
know,
two
like that's
desires. There's two.
well,
There's
yeah.
there's to harm women and alcohol. Just saying.
I mean, if we're just evaluating for just to use Scientology terms, if we're just evaluating for him and just shouting out his evil purposes here, that's probably it. I mean, like
I love that. We're going back. We're going back to the old days. We're gonna let people know what's going on, and we're just gonna shout it from the rooftop.
we're just gonna shout it from the roof. I mean, but and then the other thing is like these other letters. I mean, of course, his whole family wrote letters. I mean, that's a given.
Yep.
But it wasn't like okay, for Alana and Jordan, okay, who are Mastersons with an asterisk. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, Alana and Jordan are not actually Mastersons. They are Rishis. Okay, because Joe Rishi, he's from South Africa, right? Not Australia or one or the other.
I think it
Anyway,
is
he's not
South
from
Africa.
America. Is it South Africa? He's from South Africa. Okay, so he's South African. He married the Masterson mom, the Masterson matriarch, and she gave birth to Jordan and Alana after that. Then they had a really bad breakup. He got excommunicated, he got declared from Scientology. He got told, get the fuck out of America. You got to go back to South Africa. You're not welcome in America anymore. They kicked him out. And for everybody who thinks that this stuff doesn't happen, like they don't tell people you can't sit with us anymore, you have to go back to your country. That's exactly what happened to Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they literally told him, you can't be here in this space anymore. Your kids don't belong to you. Goodbye. Go away.
Yeah.
So at that point, Alana and Jordan changed their names. Their mom changed their names legally to Masterson so that they then would be associated with Danny and Chris as just
And
like
not his dad, and
full
not their
blooded
dad.
siblings. And not their dad who was declared an SP. So they wouldn't get treated like their dad. And they would get the VIP nepotism treatment in Hollywood, which they have, and get all the acting jobs and everything else because Danny and Chris already had a toehold in Hollywood with, Danny on That 70s Show and Chris on Malcolm in the Middle. Okay. So that is that. So in their letters to the judge, for some unknown reason, not only did they write about how Danny was just such a wonderful chap, but he was their stand in dad because their dad was out of their like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? Their dad did not make the choice to not be in their life. He was actually in their life quite a bit. He fought for them. He was constantly coming back and trying to be in their life for their entire life. None of this is factual, but to try and paint Danny as this like father figure, wow, if you go through the media reports, he's out partying, DJ donkey punching it up. I would love to know how he was babysitting and being a father figure to tiny Jordan and Alana while he was touring the world as DJ Donkey Punch. How is that a father figure? How is DJ Donkey Punch a father figure? Has anyone
Yeah.
does everyone know the definition of a donkey punch?
Yep, I
Do you
do.
know what that is?
I
Do
do.
you know what that is, Liz?
I do.
Has everyone looked that up? Has anyone looked that up?
Are you gonna give him the
Does-
the smart version of it, or are you just gonna explain it's when the in the booty hole? It's the
Well, according to the Urban Dictionary, a donkey punch. We'll just get really close to the mic here, a little
yeah,
ASMR.
talk sexy
Uh, a,
for it.
a a donkey punch is a sleazy sex move in which the guy is taking the girl in the beehole, um, while he punches her in the back of the head, making her beehole contract. So that is it's a very unique technique. Apparently, Danny loved this so much he named himself DJ Donkey Punch. It was on all of his merch. It was everywhere. It was
Yep.
not a secret. It was his name. Yes, DJ Donkey Punch. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Took a name that was so sweet to women. Like it was just so honest and so deep and so sincere. Yeah, let's be realistic. Like that is the most disgusting, vile thing
I
I've
mean,
ever.
and like just him picking that DJ name. I don't know. Like, do we need any more evidence to find the man guilty of these acts? I mean, like, give me a fracking break. Like, this is the name he chose for himself. It wasn't given to him by a fan. It's not like the YouTube, like names that are given to us as like by fans and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like he chose that. That's his favorite.
Yep.
Guys,
Just
like
gets me.
it's just he wrote it out. Now, do I think that Scientology contributed to him being a total predator and a you know, um, completely enabled to continue his predatory ways? 100p. 100p. And why are they panicking right now and trying to circle the wagons? Because all evidence points to them completely enabling him for his whole life.
Yep.
His ethics files completely filled with not only reports from other people of him doing this, but self-confessed overt and withhold write-ups of
Yeah.
him just writing it down, and then going to the examiner and being like, I feel better now. Meow. Floaty needle. Oh, good job, Danny. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
telling us all that
Thank you for
stuff.
admitting what you did and the crimes that you've committed. You're
Right?
absolved. You're absolved. You are free of this sin.
Right?
You
Yes.
know,
Thank you
pretty
for
much.
letting us know. Don't do that
Yeah.
again. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna
Bye.
do it again? You're gonna do okay,
Oh,
we're gonna go through
no.
it again. Well,
Oh,
let's
oh,
write
hot
up what you
dog.
didn't forget.
Well, well, this time, maybe you should marry that girl and then she won't say any bad things about it. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, Bijou.
Yeah, because once someone likes that kind of stuff, it doesn't stop. There's no stop.
No. There's so many victims out there. There are so many victims out there of Danny, and there's so many victims out there of other people who have tried to come forward, who have been kicked out, um, people who are still SEERG members. Gavin Potter. Hi, Gavin. We haven't forgotten about you.
Yeah.
We haven't forgotten about Gavin Potter and his penchant for young ladies and his little bridge girls that he, recruited for the entire org, and other people who have been in and out of the Sea Org, the captain of AOLA who went to the RPF for, as it was told to us on the RPF, she seduced him, his assistant. She was forcibly kicked out. The real story is, you know, he raped her. She went and she got kicked out because, she seduced him. He got sent to the RPF. Her father found out what fuck happened, came into AOLA, threatened everybody to, burn the whole place down. And then Angelo got in a lot of trouble. They ended up kicking him out of Scientology. He got declared. He said, "I don't give a fuck. You better show me where this motherfucker is." And then when Angelo finished, he got sent back to Italy and he got routed out of like Scientology. I don't think he got declared, but yeah, he got sent back to Italy after. They kept him on the RPF like as long as they could.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody that creates a flap, especially
Oh,
inside.
but this is why I was surprised that when all this shit was going down with Danny. Do you remember it wasn't John Woodruff. Was it John Woodruff or which public Woodruff was it that got sent to the RPF? Do you remember that? And that was over
I don't.
financial shit. It was one of the Woodruffs because there's so many Woodruffs, but they will send somebody a public, and this was not a SEERG member. Okay, because generally only SEERG members go to the RPF, with one exception. There was one of the Now, there's many clans in Scientology. The Mastersons are one, the Feshbacks are another, the Woodruffs are another huge clan in Scientology. And one of the Woodruffs, I can't remember which one, but he was running the LA org before it got taken over by the Sea Org. And that org just became like a mess. And there was this huge financial snafu. I forget if he was like laundering money, something enormous. Anyway, he got sent to the RPF as not a Sea Org member for like this financial stuff that went down. And it was a huge thing because he wasn't a Sea Org member and he got sent to the RPF. So I just was thinking, like, why didn't they just, why is there no like celebrity RPF?
Right?
Like,
I mean, what do you do to a
why don't
celebrity
they?
RPF? Like, oh, I got it. I got it. Here's what they do with the celebrity RPF. You can only get your nails done by someone that is not fully trained. Your pedicure will be provided
I have to do
by
them.
by me.
I
The
can't.
dead skin that's on your feet, it's okay. We're gonna go get one of those fish that eats the dead skin off your feet, and we're gonna pray that you don't lose a toe. Um,
It's a shark with
and
a laser on it.
Yeah, and then for your vehicle of choice, you will no longer be driving your Maserati, your Beamer, or any of that. You will be driving a Toyota Celica.
From
Like,
1986.
right? Because at this point, it's like, no, they get Perrier water. They get,
Mhm.
the best snacks. The fruits are brought in daily. Like, come on. Like, besides, like, when you're in the Purif, like, you get to drink yourself, but it's more like, "Oh, you're low? Oh, here, let me go get it. I will fill it up for you. Okay, here we go. Here's your
Yeah.
water."
No, they're just
They don't
doing
have to move.
concierge bullshit, all the time. It's disgusting. It's just, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. No, it's just, it's insane. Yeah. No, it's,
But
yeah.
that's how celebrities are treated, and so it's like, there's also been people saying that they have dirt on Aston. Yeah, I'm still gonna keep calling him that. Um,
It's
so his dirt was, you sat in front of your murdered girlfriend's house after finding her dead, but you didn't call the police. So then another person died because you were too busy about your image. Holy shit, I hope that family sues the shit out of him.
Yeah, that's from decades ago. I don't know what happened at that time. I think something happened at that time about that. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just this whole thing with Ashton and everything else. I mean, this is, um, yeah, this is I mean, like the mom in me is like, I'm just very disappointed. Just feel like I'm just so I'm so disappointed. I'm so like, my wife and I, like when the kids do something real dumb, we're like, "Oh, here's my shocked face." Like I just like these things are coming, and it's the same thing with like the church. Like I mean, I was hoping in some ways that this was going to be like a turning point. Like people would just see like, oh, this is the end for me. That's it. I'm fucking out of here. This is too much. This is a bridge too far. Like I'm not going to be a part of a group of people who are going to support a guy like this fucking guy. I'm out of here. This is
Yep.
this is it. And they're just like, no, they're like, oh well, these SPs out here are just, railing our guy, and we're gonna stand by him because this is unfair and he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And you know,
It,
this is we're gonna get justice for Danny, and blah, blah, and I'm just like, I cannot, I I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know,
I'm
Liz.
sorry.
I
The
don't
idea
know.
of justice for Danny makes me want to vomit. Like
I,
in my mouth,
like
in my mouth right
sincerely,
now.
like I just wanna like
Um,
throw things. I wanna like hurl things at these people. And I mean, I cannot I'm trying to like wrap my mind around like what it would be like if we were still on post, if we were still inside like Celebrity Center, like the panic that would be going on. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And like where our minds would be, because we would have no access to anything. We would have no access to the internets and things like that. We would just have access um, to what we were being told, right? Like,
correct.
I didn't get to make the video this weekend, guys, and I do apologize. I had so much to do this weekend. I was reorganizing my whole garage. It was a whole thing, but I got that done. So that was amazing. But um, as we know, yesterday was the anniversary of 9/11. Okay, very serious day. So I want to touch on something that can maybe give people the mindset that everybody's in this Ashton in the Danny Masterson thing. Um, and let me just let me pull it up here. So on 9/11, as you and I know, um, we got one of the greatest things that ever came out was the the wake up call, the wake up call, right? Um, and that issue came from, of course, the chairman of the board. He issued it on September 11th to tell us all, like the truth about, what was happening in the world, and what we needed to do as Scientologists to, like fulfill our duties. And I have to get it from my other phone. So one second. But yeah, this is some of the greatest stuff of all time that was ever sent out to anybody. Um,
Greatest stuff ever. Because Serge told me what happened to them. Um, everyone was told that they were so out ethics. Um,
Public
no,
or a
the
flag?
Sea Org and flat at Flag is that I believe they were told that they were so out ethics that they pulled this in. That awesome line. You must have done something to pull it in. Um, I was there, so I mean, I wasn't.
So where
I
were you
wasn't at
when 9/11 happened?
New York.
Tell me your story. Where were you?
New York.
Oh my god. You
Yeah,
were
I
at
was
DC, New York?
no, so I was out in 2000, right? Yeah, 2000. And so then I'd had a really bad
Okay.
breakup. So I went to New York because I had this method of when we have really bad breakups, this continent is not big enough for the both of us. So run far away.
So you had already left the Sea Org.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. And so I was at a friend's apartment that got the whole skyline and the whole view. So yeah, it was a little different. Like, I can't even make a joke about it. It was literally like I didn't see the first plane, and then I saw the second one go in, and
Oh
then
my
it was
god.
like it looked like little ants falling from the building, and I'm like, "Is this a movie being filmed that nobody told us about?" And then the buildings fall, and I'm like, "This isn't a movie," and then I lose my shit, like hyperventilating on
Oh
the
my
ground. We're
god.
being attacked. Yeah, it was all bad. I needed therapy that day.
Well, yeah. Everybody, I mean, everybody did. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. Oh my god.
Um, I did see one question. I don't know what she's grabbing. Love the haircut. You're gonna have to do the flip again. You're gonna have to do the flip again because the hair just bent down. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for always looking out for my pomp and circumstance. I
Yep.
appreciate you. All right, so let's see here because I'm pretty sure where did it go? I thought I had I have to like figure out how to use the things here because I was pretty sure. Is that it? No.
Well, someone hold on. I just want to say something real quick because someone just said it.
Go for
So
it.
9/11, um, Kareen C. Let's see.
Mhm.
I was at work in the conference
Yeah.
room watching in horror. Could not function. I was crying my eyes out. It was a horror. Yeah, it absolutely was. Like, um, if you tried to exit the building that we were in, because we were on, like, the 25th floor or something like that, you tried to exit, we were told to stay in the building.
Oh my
Um,
god.
it was one of those things where unless you were already out to help, you couldn't go out and help. Um, Getting to that area, yeah, there was no for days. And so then I got so scared of being there when they finally did open up the flights. I took a flight and I actually went to London because I'm like, it's safer there. So,
Right? That's
but
funny. Well, yeah. I mean, England was safer than America for sure.
yeah.
Trying to find it. I saved it somewhere, and then where did I save it? That's just annoying.
So Melissa Cat said, Atlas, um, okay. I was in high school. My hometown has views of the New Jersey skyline. Is that New Jersey or is that New York skyline? And my 15-year-old brain thought the same thing that it was a movie. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't even help it. It just seems so unreal and it just seems so quick. Um, that it was almost like it was a movie and you were just watching like the new Die Hard movie. At
Yeah, I
least
was,
that's how I viewed it.
yeah, I was, on the RPF when it happened, and, I had a nightmare the morning of that I was on a plane, like, it's funny that you say Die Hard. I felt like I was on a plane that was like a Die Hard thing, and I've never been to New York, but I had a nightmare about being on a plane and that it crashed into the one of the Twin Towers, and I woke up in, like, a panic, um, and I was, like, all sweaty and weird, and I was like, "That was, like, the weirdest dream I've ever had. That's just so weird. Like, why would I have never even been there? Something that's weird." That was a crazy movie. I don't even know what movie that's from. That's weird. And so we go to muster and we go to have breakfast and everything's like fine. And I was the supervisor. I was like the tech training IC. So I was like doing my thing with the students and everything was fine. And all of a sudden, um, the guys from ethics start coming down and calling students out individually, one by one, and bringing them down to ethics. And by the fourth student, I realize everybody who's getting called down is like somebody from the East Coast. And I was like, okay, something's up. And Jenny Gambino came back and she was like pale, like just like ghost. And I was like, what did they talk to you about? And she's like, I can't say. And I was like, what the fuck did they talk to you about? And she's like, I'm not supposed to say anything. So I opened up the Encyclopedia Britannica that we had and I pointed to a picture of the Twin Towers and I was like, is it about this? And she was like, how did you know? And I was like, just don't fuck with me right now. Is it about this? And she goes, yes. And I was like, did a plane crash into these buildings? And she was like, how did you know that? And I was like, just tell me, is it about that? And she goes, I can't say anything else. So then we go to like nobody knew anything, just these people that and then I went out and I said, hey, if something happened in New York, like you need to let me know because my uncle at the time was working like in the Pentagon. Um, and so I was like, I have relatives in New York. Like call me. Hello. And they didn't give a shit about me. They didn't care. So then we go to muster. They call like an emergency muster, which we never had on the RPF. Like they don't care about us. And then the RPFIC told us a story. The story we were told on the RPF was that a small, like a Cessna crashed into the Twin Towers
No force feeder?
and I'm telling you the story that we were told on
Okay.
the RPF that a small like Cessna like plane crashed into the RPF and there was nothing to be worried about. We weren't under attack, but something's going on and we're going to get more information. And when we get more information, we'll let you know. But, maybe something happened and a few people had died and not to panic and don't spread any rumors, and if you saw something on television, no you didn't, and don't tell anybody about anything and blah blah blah, because earlier that morning at like 4:30 in the morning there was like 5 RPFers who had gone to All of You Medical Center or USC Medical Center to go get treatment for something that they were, they had like a medical thing, so they had to leave that early to get on the buses to get there. So they saw everything happen on the news. They came back because they'd been at the fucking emergency room all day watching the coverage and they were like, "Everybody, oh my God." Like, so the RPF like news train had told us what the real fucking deal was. So we knew what had happened. And so the RPFIC is giving us this fucking bullshit that like a tiny plane hit. So then somebody raised their hand and muster and was like, sir, he just said a plane hit it. And somebody was like, what kind of plane? He's like, that's fucking in theta. Don't fucking ask that kind of question. Like, what? Like, it was like so I'm sitting there in line at this time. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I'm 23. I was like, I'm going to get drafted. Like, this is what I'm thinking. I was on the RPF's RPF. I was like, we're going to war. Like, I said that out loud. I was like, we're going to war. And everybody's like, that's in theta. And I was like, guys, this is an act of war. Like, I
Yes, it
don't know
is.
what generation you grew up in, but my dad was in fucking Vietnam. Like, we're going to war. Like, I'm gonna get drafted. And everyone's like, well, you could get your minister's cert and then they can't draft you if you're a minister. And I was like, maybe. And then I was seriously just thinking like, I should just go join the real Navy. Like I should just leave. This was before I hurt my back, before I got like herniated discs. And I was like, I should just like walk out of here right now and just like go join the real military and like go defend our country because something fucking really bad happened. And yeah, this is fucked up. Like this shit we're not doing it. Like, what the fuck? But we're getting all this misinformation and I gotta find this document. Um, because it's really making me mad. Um,
Simmer down.
there we go.
Simmer down.
Simmer down.
Yeah, I was stuck in front of a TV the whole time. Like cell phone
That just
service
I
was
can't believe that you were
out.
that close to it though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just That's just crazy.
But for the first time ever, everybody, I did not think I pulled it in. So that was me growing up a little bit in that moment because I was like, man, everybody in that building must be out ethics. Those were my stupid thoughts.
Oh my god.
But I didn't think I pulled it in. I just, you know, had some sociopath thought.
Did you go to help out?
No, we weren't allowed out of the building. Like we weren't within a walking distance. We would have been like it would have taken where we were, it would have taken like 2 hours to get over there.
Oh, okay. So you were, like, far, far
Yeah.
from there.
You can see
Okay.
it because you could see the Twin Towers, but at the same time, it was kind of like no, is it 2 hours? Wha Basically the other side of the park. So you could still
Mm.
see it, but at the same time, it was like not a hop, skip, and a fart. I love how I say
That's
that
a
and you laugh, but it's like it's that little oomph you get.
yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Like, that's not, um oh, I found it, I found it, I found it. Okay. So, guys, I found the wake up call. I'm so excited right now. Okay. So, I wanna read this to you guys as quickly as humanly possible. So, I have it. This is the official wake up call on the RTC letterhead. Look at that shiny, shiny symbol up there, guys.
Yep.
So powerful. The Scientology symbol on top of the Dianetics symbols with a bunch of lightning bolts because it's just so powerful. It's just electric. Okay. So, um, I don't, oh, I do. I do. Because I'm an old lady, guys. I have 18 pairs of glasses. So I have to get my readers out. These are my official reading glasses. So please bear with me. All right, here we go. So, this comes from, of course, the inspector. It's Inspector General Network Bulletin number 44. All right, so it's entitled, it goes to all Scientologists on 11 September 2001 from the chairman of the board, Religious Technology Center. Wake up call, the urgency of planetary clearing. And he's quoting L. Ron Hubbard there right at the top. A civilization without insanity, without criminals, without war, where the able can prosper and honest beings can have rights, and where man is free to rise to greater heights are the aims of Scientology. Okay. Yeah. We're really getting at here with the defense of Danny right now. All right. So he says, it's time to get busy, very busy. Every Scientologist everywhere. The terrorist attacks of this day demonstrate the destruction a small minority of suppressive persons can wreak. If nothing else, it also demonstrates why our mission is so vital and why speed in accomplishing our aims is of paramount importance. Bluntly, we are the only people of Earth who can reverse the decline, and we do not have an endless amount of time to pull it off. Every sector of Scientology activity plays a vital role that must be fulfilled. No matter what forceful retaliation is exacted against the culprits, it will not make a world at peace or without war. Countless wars have proven that. As long as men have reactive minds, rationality across the dynamics is not possible. World War II and its mission of genocide was spurred on by psychiatric myth of racial superiority. Reducing Hitler's army to dust, killing millions in the process, did not end it. Suicide bombings at Pearl Harbor led to atomic bombs wiping out whole cities. Yet, suicide bombings of an even more brutal nature, previously unimaginable, have now occurred. Every one of these attacks and endless world conflicts can be traced to a lack of real technology of the mind. Mm, I have to get to the next page. Please hold.
Hopefully, they're next to each other.
Yeah.
You know, listening to that,
And
all it can make me
yeah,
vomit.
right? It's just like it's just so gross. And reliance on the false mental therapies of psychiatry and psychology. Don't be fooled. It is not normal for people to agree to suicide missions in killing others. Such people are not born, they are made. It is not done. It is done through drugging, hypnotism, and implanting, the stock and trade of this psych. Uh-oh, hot dog. of course, we got to bring the
the
psychs
psych
into
did
this.
it. They did it.
It's the intergalactic reincarnations of the overlords of the Marcab Confederacy who are here in human form as the psychs. Yes, of course. This is not conjecture, it is fact. And if there is any doubt, consider the fact that the primary suspect, Osama bin Laden, has a psychiatrist as his right-hand man. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. While we continue to fight psychiatric influence and brutality until those plagues are a forgotten memory, okay, that is only one step in achieving our primary mission for each and every being, as reflected in the bridge to total freedom. There is no shortcut, no one-shot handling. Let me just interject something here. If Danny Masterson had seen an actual psychiatrist or psychologist, he might have gotten some treatment that may have stopped him from harming other women's, and we wouldn't be here where we are now, or he would have been put away a long time ago.
Yeah.
That would have actually been useful. And the plague of Danny Masterson upon this earth would have been handled. Unlike the scourge of Scientology that keeps producing more Danny Mastersons. Okay, we will continue. We have the technology to pull it off. But if we don't work faster, we could face a scenario where any help would be impossible. And it's not just the violence we have recently witnessed, it's everything that violence potentially wreaks in terms of economic and social collapse, not to mention the pervasive apathy which terrorism seeks to instill, leaving a population that can only think of death. We are the only ones who can change that tone, so vital to conquering evil. This is 22 years ago, guys, that this was written. This is not a new phenomenon. These factors have existed in society throughout our 51 years. At times, they are hidden in the social veneer of materialism, nifty cars, fancy houses, and an economic boom that only existed on paper, with the latest .com worth billions one day and not 1 cent the next. Look even deeper and you find mankind's quote humanitarian objectives heading in the direction of MEST, that's matter, energy, space, and time, and artificial intelligence. Hot dog. And all towards denial of the spirit. Instead of man, computers are the supposed salvation, evidenced by what compromises the world's largest industry, generating billions for its owners. And what has this ignorance of the spirit and reliance on MEST wrought? Computers heralded as amazing, but only capable of popping up an address book, phone number, mail order catalog, or the newest pornographic site to stimulate and fixate the attention of users. But they can't yet help one human being, just as all the most, quote, high technology of the world couldn't prevent a psychotic killing thousands by striking at the heart of what symbolizes the world's superpower. So 22 years ago, David Miscavige was so fucking stupid that he thought that that a cell phone was just a brick that was going to do nothing, and that computers were not going to be the future. Okay. This guy wanted to go backwards in time and not move forward with technology. Okay. And he wanted, if you look at Scientology as a whole, they're still using telexes, they're still using fax machines, they print everything out on paper. Okay. The only reason they used the internets at all was to track all of their members with a completely Trojan horse fucking software that they got all of their members to download onto their personal computers. Right. Do you remember that
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
evolution, Liz?
The whole thing of
Right.
the
I'm a
room being
Scientologist.
switched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But 22 years ago, he tried to convince his members that technology is bad, right? So, right in here, don't look to any other information but what we're giving you. Everything else out there is bad. All technology is bad. Anything that isn't Scientology produced is bad, right? Don't look to Apple, don't look to Samsung, don't look to any of these other companies. They don't know what they're doing, just us, right?
Yeah.
You got to concentrate here,
Okay.
right? It's just the isolationism, all this other stuff. And now we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. Book 1 was written in the aftermath because Dianetics. We're going to take it back to the OG state here. Book 1 was written in the aftermath of a world war, and the threshold of the Cold War. It is as true today as it was then. I don't know. That book was more than an assault on the reactive mind. It was a plea for people to get on board and apply its revelations as the only solution to a war and destruction. Read the opening and closing chapters again. The Cold War ended and the Berlin Wall came down. Because of Scientology. That's what he's trying to tell you.
Let's not forget.
Old political enemies. Old political enemies in 1950 are allies today, again, because of Scientology. But just as Dianetics predicted, unless we attack the natural enemy of man, the reactive mind, that is not, no. Man will always be faced with turmoil, danger, and death. A science of the mind, this is L. Ron Hubbard now, is a goal which has engrossed thousands of generations of man, armies, dynasties, and whole civilizations have perished for the lack of it. Rome went to dust for the want of it. China swims in blood for the need of it. And down in the arsenal is an atom bomb. Is hopeful nose full armed in ignorance of it. Yeah. We
I
have
love
the
how you do the
technology.
talk. When
We
I try
have
to
the
do it, it's William
technology,
Shatner.
right? We have the technology and organization to overcome any obstacle facing this planet today. I could do the Miscavige talk too, because he's so obnoxious, like at the events and stuff. Like his gravel and his countenance and the way he would do the speeches. The greater threat of the atomic bomb was not its destructive power, it was the hysteria and apathy it could inflict on whole populations. Like, it's just like, where did he come up with that? It's just so awful to listen to. Precisely what terrorism is accomplishing today. LRH solved that with group processing, specifically providing the technology to help the masses in unfortunate times like these. I'm going to digress here for a second. I was so mad when I read that sentence. Do you want to know why I was so mad when I read that sentence? Because he fucking stole another idea from me, David Miscavige. Fuck you. I wrote him a letter when I was on the RPF because one time we were doing a stat push. Okay. I'm going to fully admit it was a stat push. And I was flipping through all of the check sheets, like, oh, fuck, what check sheet can I do real quick to get us like an auditor made? We were like really fucking down in the auditor made stats. And I was like, I've already done the clay table one. I've already done this one. And I was like, group processing. And we looked it up. I was like, if I become a group auditor, does that count as an auditor made? It does. So I was like, oh, how long is this check sheet? Oh, there's fun lectures. Let's do it. So these lectures are fucking great. They're fun. And group processing, also fun to do, right? You get in a group of brand new people and it's like fun, goofy shit that you're telling people to do. It's kind of like, it's just like locationals and just fun. It's actually like fun shit. Now, in these lectures that you don't listen to anywhere else, okay, they're not on the BC, they're not on the Seton Hill Special Briefing course, they're not in any other course, these group processing lectures. Okay, so the only place you listen to these is on the group auditor course. They are super fun because they're talking about this process. But in this course, L. Ron Hubbard says that the key, now he says this in many different courses, but in this particular course, he says the key to planetary clearing is group processing. Because if you can start processing groups en masse, like in stadiums, at concerts, at all these things, you will start lifting the tone of the planet en masse, and you can start planetary clearing for real. Right. So I was like, we got to fucking make group auditors. This is amazing. We got to get people auditing groups and we got to get we got to get celebrities doing this, like at their concerts. We got to get them doing it in all these places. Like, this should be a part of the mission. And I started like getting all these people to become group auditors. Also, was a super quick course. Okay. So like stat push. All right. Like,
Yeah, I remember the stat
pure
pushes.
stats. Yeah. This stat push is like we had to complete so many people through so many courses, especially make auditors in a week. So if we could get a number of people to complete the courses in the week, the stat would go boop, 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 and go up, right? So a stat push would be like all of the staff in the course room completing that. That would still count for us too. Now, it
Okay.
wouldn't be a paid completion, which is even better. But if somebody completed it in the tech course room, which is where I was, then it still counted as a completion. If a staff member completed it in the staff course room, then that's another thing. But like I did it in my course room, so it counted for me. But
Nice.
yeah, so I know, I cheated, but whatever. Who cares? Like I padded
Let's
my stats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's be
So
realistic. How many of us cheated on our stats? I mean,
all of us,
you know,
all the stats are a lie. All the stats
yeah,
are a lie of Scientology. They're all lies. They're all lies. Everything is lie.
like,
We're
yeah.
It's all
Mm-mm.
lies. Complete lies. Yeah. So flashback to this sentence. So while I was on the RPF, I was like, how can I make everything better? How can I? So I wrote David Miscavige a letter about the group audit. And I was like, dear sir, hey, it's me. I'm on this RPF now. Like I'm trying to not be a piece of shit, but I have this great idea on how to clear the planet. So, like do with it what you want. But I think, this could work. I never heard back until this. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like
Of
you could
course you weren't going to get
reprieve
credit.
me. You could fucking like be like, hey, thank you for this fucking great idea. I'm gonna grant you, like you can go now.
Okay.
Something. Like I release you. You are blessed. I don't know, holy water or something. Nothing.
You've been ungayed.
I don't know, something. It could have just been like, just fucking let her go already. Like she don't want to be there, just let her go.
You know,
She's
they
free to
could
go.
have given you a sandwich.
Something, anything. We
Yeah.
take back the kid. But then, I also said he was short, so that's just erased it. I revealed that he was shorter than me, so now he hates me. That's
Every
just
time you,
facts.
yeah, to be completely honest, the man has got short man syndrome like nobody's business. And for some reason, oh, don't question my height. It's just like Tom Cruise. Nicole Kidman was not allowed to wear high heels when she was with him.
Oh,
Katie kind of wore high heels, but really not so much because how dare you make him look
yeah.
so small,
Oh my
you know?
god, yeah. No.
Yes.
No, no, no. No, Nicole is a tall drink of water, and Tom also, he's like maybe my height. I'm like 5'5". Tom's like maybe 5'6". In real life, I mean, they make women stand in ditches and shit when they're
Yep.
shooting with him. And he's
Yep.
always standing next to tall women. He's
Mhm.
always making women feel less on screen. Just think about that for a minute. Like Tom Cruise, he's running, he's hanging from planes, he's jumping from the sky, he's riding motorcycles, he's doing all these things. Yet he's objectifying and like making women smaller so he can be bigger always. Always.
Um, I think it's not just an always, but I think it's a feel that he needs. He just it'll make him feel better. I don't know. I was trying to justify it, looking at the pros and cons. It could be, but he likes to put down women. Just like he doesn't like to be
Yeah.
married to them past 33.
Yeah, there's something about that too. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his. Like watching his movies is kind of like drying paint. Doesn't sound like a good time. Not
No.
at all.
No, Tom, yeah. I mean, there was a time where, I again, no comment on his acting. I just, you know, I feel like, yeah, he knows what's up. He knows what's going on in the church. And, yeah. Here's the deal. There's plenty of short actors out there and actresses who don't give a shit and just deal with it and do lots of great things,
Yeah.
and don't have, a problem being short. I don't have a problem being short. It never hurt me any, getting, um, on with my life. So, yeah.
Yeah. I am not that tall. I'm 5'7". I used to be 5'8" before some of my knee surgeries. But I am 5'7". Well, depending on what leg I stand on, I guess, because one leg is longer. Um, and um, I've never had a problem with being my height. I'm fine. I don't need to wear heels
I
to
used
feel
to
good
think I
about
was
myself.
incredibly short, but that was when I played basketball, like, in high school, and, like, those girls were just incredibly tall,
Yeah,
you
they
know?
drink the tall water.
Th they're very tall, and then, like, when I became an adult, I was like, "Oh, I'm just a regular sized human." They're just very, very tall.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'm fine with my height. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm the last person to know if it rains when I'm around a bunch of tall people. Like, I'm okay with that. I am totally
Yeah.
okay with that. Let it rain on
No,
them
I'm
first.
good. Yeah, I don't mi I mean, I'm good. Both my kids are taller than me now, so, like, whatever. I did that right. So I
That's how
give
it
them
is
the
with
tall genes.
Carrie.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Like,
all good. I
here
mean, I
she
don't care.
is. Here she is,
Yeah.
and then here's
The
the
kids. Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my kids too. So yeah. Yeah.
She likes to
See,
say
Karen,
she's fun
I
sized.
I see. I say I'm 5'5", but I'm 5'4 3/4". But 5'5" just sounds. I'm not gonna put that on my license. 5'4 3/4". That's too many numbers. But I feel you. I feel you. Just round it up. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
all right. Just say 5'4". Good for you. I'm with you.
Well, I mean, who's really honest on their driver's license? I mean, besides the physical
I put
address
my
that they
real
live on.
weight. I put my real weight.
That has not been my real weight since I was young.
Well, it used to say 132, and that was a long time ago. And then I finally put the real weight. And I don't care. I don't care. I'm in my late 40s now. I don't care because you know what? It's the driver's license. The only people that see my driver's license is like when I'm getting pulled over, which doesn't ever happen, or when I'm going in. Like I still get carded. So if I'm getting carded for something, go ahead and stare at the weight. You're asking for my age anyway. You think I'm under 30? Here's the card. I was born in
Yeah.
1900 into the 76, so check it. I don't care. You wanna take a gander at my weight while you're in there? I don't care. Go for it.
True. See, and
Like,
that
it's as
cracks me up. When I get carded for buying, like, anything
yeah,
alcohol related, and no, I don't drink it, but, some people
buy
do
it for
like
other
wine.
people. Yeah,
Huh? So
buy it
I
for a
will
gift,
stop and grab her a wine. Um, and so I get carded and I'm like, I was born in the 1900s. When I select things, when you have to put your
right?
age in,
You
it's
have
a
to scroll like we're
Yep.
like we're on the fucking
Like
Price is
Wheel of
Right,
Fortune.
spinning that wheel at the
Yep.
end. Yeah,
Yeah. That's the worst part when you're sitting there like how to make yourself feel old. Scroll down to your date. Just scroll. And it's like yeah,
yeah.
at
No,
any
it's
point in
bad. I
time.
mean, we're old now. We're old now, Liz.
Yeah,
When you
we're
have
at
to
the
go
age
past
that I was telling
80s.
my mom that I was old or that she was old. Like,
I
I
know.
used to ask
I know,
her, "What was it like being friends with Jesus? Did you
right?
have to walk in the snow to and from when you were young? Like,
I
is
know.
your social security number still 1?" Like, I used to mess with my mom all the time, and now I'm at the age that I started messing with my mom and was like, 40? Holy
See, look at all
Jesus.
these women now just talking about still getting carded in their 60s and 50s. I say, "You go, girls.
Yeah,
You
you
go,
I hope
girls.
I
You
hope at
go."
65 I'm still getting carded because at that
And
point,
that's you know what? I think that's amazing. I'm just, that's what I'm saying. It's like my coworkers they were talking about something and they're just all a bunch of like young guys and they said something and I was like, "Oh, well, I can't do that. I'm 47." And they were like, "What?" One guy, this kid Mike, he was like, "You're older than my mom." And I was like, "Yeah, probably,
Yeah.
probably." He's like,
We
"My mom's 42. Are you sure you're 47?" I was like, "Yeah, honey, I'm definitely 47." Why would I make that up? Why would I pick that as like let me pick a random age and just be
Yep.
that. Like it's gonna be 40 today I'm 47. Like that's not the random age I'm gonna
Yeah,
pick out
that's
of
not
my
the age
ass.
that people pick. But,
No.
like, we got asked to go to the bar not too long ago, and I was super excited. I'm like, it's been a long time since I've boogalooed, I've shook the tush, had some good music,
Boogalooed.
some
I like
bebop.
that.
And then all of a sudden, I get in there and I feel like I'm the oldest person in the house. And because I don't drink, everyone reeks of liquor. And
Oh
the
God.
bathroom smells like, the bathroom smells like liquor, vomit, and self esteem going out the window. Um, let's throw in a little bit of a dash of pride. And I'm sitting in there like, man, I really have to go to the bathroom. I really have to go number one, but you're gonna suck in my soul and I'll hold it, like, and then after like an hour and a half, 2 hours there, I'm like, oh my God, my legs hurt. Like they hurt really bad.
I know, right?
Can we leave to go get something to eat? And you're not even hungover. It don't matter. I need some Taco Bell. Yeah.
Right? No, if I'm up late, I gotta eat something. I know that sounds ridiculous, like, if I stay up, I mean, that's just the part of I don't mind it now, like, I used to be like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed," like, I guys, it's 8:30 now, we gotta wrap this up soon because it is my bedtime, because believe it or not, I get up at 5 AM. My kids have a ridiculous start time at school. They have to be at school at 7:20, 7 like 25 in the morning. So I get up at 5 to do some yoga. I do 10 minutes of yoga, trying to like stretch, kick, stretch, and try to get my bones limber in the morning. And then, shower, get dressed, gotta do the hairs, all that kind of stuff. And then, get ready for my day, gotta put on my spiffy clothes and that kind of thing. And then get breakfast ready for the kids and my wife and all that kind of stuff. And we have a nice breakfast together because it's important to me to get in that family time, and put in the time with the kids and my wife and stuff, and then head out the door. And now I got my scooter. I'm so excited. Love it so much.
You're
I'm
like,
on the open road. It doesn't sound like that. It's not a wimpy scooter. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You saw my scooter. I sent you a
I did. It's a
picture.
pretty scooter.
Thank you.
It is a very
Thank you.
pretty scooter. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's yeah. But no, it's been amazing. So, that's what's been important. I mean, as I'm aging like a fine wine, that's what's important to me these days, is getting the time in. And that's what Danny's not gonna have.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
he's gonna
he has
age.
time.
He's gonna age, but he's
He has
gonna kinda
time.
age like milk.
Well,
He's
he's
gonna
already
get the
been doing that.
curdles on the
He hasn't been
end,
listen, that beard
and then
is
the
just
smell.
covering up all the nastiness on his face. Because 'cause let's face it, he hasn't been taking good care of himself. He hasn't been, living a good life. He hasn't been, being a good person, you know?
Yeah.
And when you're
He's
not a
got some
good
time to think
person,
about stuff.
you know, uh, I mean, I'm gonna say it again. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Um, I hope that Danny takes this time away, because he is gonna be away. Um, that I hope that he disconnects himself from Scientology, from all this shit, from, these people that haven't helped him, um, in his life, because Scientology hasn't helped him.
No.
His mom hasn't helped him. His family hasn't helped him. Not fucking Ashton and all these other fucking people haven't helped him. So I hope he disconnects and takes some time to like seek actual professional help while
Yeah.
he's there, and get, like, figure out that he's fucked up and he needs to figure out how to actually do something about himself, because there is something wrong with him. I don't know what it is. I'm not a professional. I'm not going to even pretend to know what's wrong with him. I know what Scientology, I can guess at what Scientology contributed to that. Let me say that. I don't know. I can say for certain that Scientology did contribute to his depravity, because it's contributed to all of our mental
Warped, yeah.
warpiness that we're all working through.
Mhm.
However, asterisk, I haven't committed mass crimes on other humans, um, or even thought about doing that, because that's just not. I never did that while in Scientology, and I don't have the impulses, or I'm like not restraining myself from doing that now. Um, but if you are a criminal, I mean, L. Ron Hubbard has a great saying: "A cleared cannibal is a cleared cannibal." And so if you came into Scientology and you were already like a fucking criminal, and you were doing criminal things, and you get Scientology in your brain pan, it can make you an even better criminal.
Right? I mean,
It can make you an
realistically,
even it can make you an even more diabolical criminal. Let's just put it that way.
as a person that has been, by the president's office, in the president's office, I could probably guarantee you they're not going to get you. They're not going to get you on this. Your ethics
Right.
are in. We got you, boo boo. We got you. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, okay, this is going to all be gone. I'm not going to have to worry about what I did. I've already confessed and got out my overts and withholds. So like all the things that I was keeping inside and all the laws that I was breaking, I already got it out. I feel much better. I
Right.
found love and a family."
Well,
Um,
and we know the president's office was blowing smoke up his ass the whole time.
Absolutely. And so I'm
Yeah.
hoping that he does take this time away and he
Hmm.
really sits there and thinks, "Hey, did this really help me? Like, realistically, did this help me? Is this gonna help me get out?" Um, no.
Yeah.
And in case you
Yeah.
forgot, no.
No, and he won't even have a chance to, like, even fucking do anything about anything for 30 whole fucking years,
Correct.
okay? He won't even have a chance at parole for 30 years. So, that's the good news for the Janes. Um, they won't even have to, like, face his disgusting ass for 30 years. Their kids will be grown. They will be living their best lives in their 70s and shit. And they can just wait and be free of him for the next 30 years and relax and sip whatever libations they choose, and now sue his estate for the money that they so rightfully deserve for the pain and mental anguish, that I'm
Right.
hoping that they get, for everything that they've been through, during this really, really terrible time that has happened. Um, I think that that's the next thing coming to him, because it isn't just the fact that now he's in jail. Now we have the civil trial that's coming up, and then we also have, I mean, Scientology is under, like they were saying in the wake up call, Scientology is literally under attack right now. They've got this case, they've got the civil trial, they've got the Gavin Potter trial, they have um, the Valeska Paris trial, and they have Leah's trial. So there's a lot of things going on right now where Scientology as a whole is freaking out. And let's not forget, of course, we're still trying to get Bob out. Um, I still don't know what happened with Kendrick and his wife.
Right.
And
No,
I know that
does
tons
anybody
of
know what's
people
going on with them?
know. I really would love an update on what happened there. I know tons of people called into many orgs to find out what was happening and everything else. I appreciate you guys doing that so, so much. I haven't heard anything. I'm going to try and dig in on that, and, find out what is happening on that also, to see what we can figure out, and get yeah to because I'm still super interested to find out, because these things are still going on. I mean, we have the sexual crimes going on, and we have the multitude of crimes being committed by Scientology is hard to keep track of, guys. I'm
And
sorry. That's
it's like they grow daily. It's like, how can
Human
we
trafficking, sexual assault. I mean, like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, and it's not. And let's be real. Again, when you think of sexual assaults, when you think of sexual or assault, so SA, when you think of that, you don't think, oh, the victim pulled it in. But again, if you've been listening to any of the lives, I guarantee you, if they went to any kind of ethics or anything to get this handled. They were told that
Mhm,
they did something to pull it in, that the other
mhm,
person is not out ethics. They had pulled it in themselves. So their ethics is out. And then they're meant to relive, if they're getting auditing on it, they're meant to relive that moment and keep going over that moment and over
yeah,
and over and over until they've been so beat up and bruised and broken that life doesn't seem good.
yeah,
And then they keep going. So,
absolutely. Yeah. No, 100%. I wanted to s we just have one super chat tonight from Jen Nelson. AA Ron is going to do the charity. This is Ashton and Misha and Mila's charity. That's what she's
okay.
referring to. This came at the beginning of our chat here, because most of the donations go to pay staff. That is cuckoo cuckoo. That is, not what charity's money is meant to do.
No.
Yeah. So they're gonna be, investigating that. Um, yeah. That's not shock. Here's my shock face. But, yeah. Um, just very quickly, does anybody else, because we're gonna be wrapping it up here in a moment,
Wrap it
Carrie
up.
Is that Carrie raising her hand? Does anybody else have a question, um, before we go? You can just type in question or just ask it real quick. Otherwise, we will see you next Tuesday. This has been amazing. Liz, that was you writing questions. I was like,
Yeah.
"Somebody's typing questions."
Yep. Because someone's got a hand raised. We got to know. Pup groomer 20. I understand. And just know that you are loved and
Us too.
same
We're
boat.
sending you love, Pup Groomer.
Absolutely. All the way. Have your back.
So Miss Sally says, "Hey ladies, I just want to tell you I'm a self-described Christian conservative and I support you both. I miss Nora's daily parking lot confessionals. I love and support all of SBTV." Thank you so much for that, Miss Sally. I'm going to
Right?
try and get back into those. I have a different commute now, so I am trying really hard to figure out how to like work out I'm just learning my route. So once I have that a little more figured out, then I will work out a new parking lot confessional for everybody to do. All right. Um,
You have a
absolutely.
softball game on
Absolutely.
Saturday?
I have softball games for Girl Child, and then my wife and I are playing softball this Sunday. Thank you, Renee Mora, for the super sticker. Much appreciate. What time is my softball game on Saturday? I don't have one on Saturday. It's on Sunday. I don't know yet. We just got the schedule, so I haven't looked at that yet. Um, where was the other one here? Oh, wondering if anyone experienced yes, I think we answered that,
Yeah.
Renee. Um,
Can you grab the one from V? Yeah.
thank you, V and E. Love to you all. Thanks for being here with us as we heal out loud. Thank you for being here, V. Always. We heart you.
Always. Because she's a thief-er. I love saying that.
Sandy, love you both. If I had the money, I would super duper chat and do the membership things, but I'm broke. Osteoarthritis in my hand has caused me to change careers at 56. Oh my goodness. Sandy, here's the deal. We are not in this for the money. We are in this
No,
to tell y'all truths. Okay. So if you can super chat or PayPal or Venmo, awesome sauce. If you
you
cannot,
can't.
as you can see, we're answering all the questions. It's not just about the super chats and the money. YouTube ad revenue gives us a little tiny bit. That's why we want to get Liz's channel monetized. So if you have not subscribed to Liz, please go subscribe, because then she can
Thank
just
you.
get that sweet, sweet ad revenue from YouTube. But yes, also super chats are awesome. Liz also has, did you have your merch up yet, Liz?
I don't have merch up, but I did get the Amazon wish list up, which was a nightmare because I am not good at asking for things at all. And I did get buy me a coffee link put up and
Okay.
put up correctly because it
Awesome.
was incorrectly before, as I was told. So I did get those two. Basically, that's what I have as of right now. Because right now we're paying for all of this. I know I am. Um, and we're basically doing the best we can. I know that you had mentioned earlier, doing the Bob Ferris thing. Someone asked me, where we stand. Where we stand is basically doing our best to get help. Um, I'm still trying to talk to him. I'm still trying to do everything I can. Um, and by doing everything I can, that's getting every story that I know out and spreading
Yes.
the word so that someone else doesn't join. And the more people that listen, the more there's a possibility they're going to just send him on his merry way. Or
The
I can
bigger
distract
Liz
enough.
gets, the bigger a threat she is, and the
Correct.
more they're gonna get rid of Bob, because that's what happens.
Yep.
When somebody like Liz gets popular and she starts saying more things, like Aaron's mom got declared just because he started talking and he was connected to somebody who was an SP. Okay. Like they kicked his mom out of the church. So if Liz gets super popular, guys, they're going to let Bob go. That's what's going to happen because they're going to have to
Yeah.
because Liz will be too noisy. So we need to make Liz super
As
noisy
noisy
and
as
super
possible
popular. Okay.
because the louder, the
Thank you,
better.
Marilyn. We heart you so much. I love you.
Okay. Carrie's got a question.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm getting to it. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. Who has a question? Oh, I got it. Carrie. Carrie's got a question. All right. Where do you see all of this going in the next 5 years and where would we like to see it go? Well, 5 years from now, I would love at some point to be sitting in the same room as my pran Liz and do one of
Bring me
these
in.
things live. But in 5 years, I would love for maybe Scientology just to be done. That would be awesome. I mean, if we're just
Yeah,
talking
that'd be
fantasies,
amazing.
for my ultimate goal, guys, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again for people who haven't heard me say it a million times. My goal is for Scientology to lose its 501(c)(3) status because I don't believe they should have tax exempt status. And if adult humans want to practice Scientology together, they may do that. They are free to do that as American citizens. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with someone believing that Scientology is a valid technology and to practice that for themselves. I do have a problem with people enforcing those beliefs on children, and with Scientology as an entity being allowed to accept donations and demanding donations from members, and then using that to hide behind the cloak of religion and a 501(c)(3) status, which allows them to not pay taxes and not pay a living wage to their workers, and to hide crimes of human trafficking. Uh, Crimes against children, child labor, etc. The list goes on because they are a quote unquote religion. And this is how we get Danny Mastersons and things like this.
Correct.
So with the 501(c)(3) status, revoked and their religious status revoked, um, that's my ultimate goal. If people want to continue to read L. Ron Hubbard and believe in him and practice in the free zone and all that kind of stuff, have at it. I'm not going to partake in that, obviously. But I don't want them to have the privilege to call themselves a religion and get those rights and everything else afforded to them because it is not helping anyone
Absolutely.
to do that.
So for me, I guess let me just answer for those of you still sitting in the back, in case you didn't know. I personally want there to be an open communication to the outside world and stop lying. Would I like everyone to be woken up? Absolutely. Um, but if they want to practice this, just like if my dad does want to stay, then that's his choice. But he has, as long as people know that there's people outside and this disconnection bullshit stops, this harassing stops. And it's not about us getting used to any kind of harassment or belittlement that's going on. It's about the fact that we're supposed to stand together. Everyone's supposed to be united in this. And I I just want people to be woken up and realize what's going on, and I don't want kids in there at all.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't want any child to
I
have
think we're all
my life.
agreed on that, like, the kids absolutely need to, uh go with me?
I was hopefully she's gonna say absolutely need to, um, stay
I'm still
away.
here.
Okay. Okay. So, um, go ahead. I
I don't
love
know what
the
happened.
shaking dot. Your camera turned off.
I'm just a shaking
Um,
dot now.
yep.
There I am.
If we sent letters to IntBase, would that help? You are more than welcome to. Just remember to take a picture of it. You can email it to save Bob or savebobferris at gmail.com. I would love to see letters that you're sending in. But you're more than welcome to. I've tried sending in some letters, and yeah, so far he hasn't called, written back, or anything. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Alright, guys. I am being called outside to walk the dogs. But I love you all. Tune in next week. I'm going to be back too on my own channel with more content also. I promise. I've missed you guys as well. All right. I love you so much, Liz. We will see you next week.
Love you. See you next week.